Taking our 10th spot is Miley Cyrus. From the jump, I'm just gonna clear the air by saying Miley was never actually fired by Disney. However, apparently she came extremely close to it, making her fair game for today's list. After portraying the double life of Hannah Montana, Miley supposedly wanted to transition into less friendly roles. Allegedly, the star went through a phase during filming where she and her father, Billy Ray, would collectively wreak havoc on set in hopes of ending the show or being fired altogether. According to claims from reports, the father-daughter duo would turn up late to set, start arguments with staff in production, and be overall unpleasant. Of course, both parties of the Cyrus duo have adamantly denied this speculation, but it's been stated time and time again that this is one of the factors of the show ending when it did. Eventually, Miley was able to break away from her past self and is now staying healthy with new workout routines, still seeing large success as a world-famous singer, and is currently in a relationship with Max Morondo. Don't forget to tap the notification bell to stay updated on all your favorite forgotten celebrities. Taking our 9th spot is Mitchell Musso. Mitchell is most famously known for being a star of Hannah Montana, playing Miley's quirky best friend Oliver Oaken, and Pair of Kings as twin Brady Parker. However, he voice acted as Jeremy Johnson for the network's animated series Phineas and Ferb in between these gigs. In accordance with TMZ, Mitchell was soon forced out of Pair of Kings by Disney when he got arrested for a DUI in 2011. Naturally, his acting career halted the moment he got pulled over by police for reportedly failing to slow down at a cop-directed traffic intersection. The 20-year-old actor at the time was serving a breathalyzer and ended up blowing over the limit, resulting in him spending a few hours behind bars. His firing from Pair of Kings was immediate, and Disney actively refused to mention him in the show after that. He did surprisingly get to keep his voice acting gig though, which people speculate is due to his face not being shown in the show. Nowadays, Mitchell hasn't released anything and pretty much remains off the radar since his last working credit in 2018. However, he did voice his character again in the 2020 Phineas and Ferb sequel movie. Taking our 8th spot is Bella Thorne. Bella will spill the tea to anyone who's willing to listen about how she never wanted to partake in Disney. In fact, she's been fairly open about regretting her time on Shake It Up, which she co-starred with Euphoria's Zendaya. At the time, she described her family being on the brink of homelessness, so she did whatever it took to help them out. Once she began to get older, the cracks in her facade only grew. Bella wanted to be more experimental with her wardrobe, aka denim shorts and crop tops all day. Therefore, the network terminated her contract the moment SIU came to a close. By now, Bella swears Disney hates her, but she also doesn't really care. She's transitioned into being more expressive on social media and has received a lot of backlash for it. At the moment, the actress seems to be single after breaking off her engagement with Benjamin Mascolo and still dabbles in all aspects of her creative titles as a model, singer, and writer. Taking our 7th spot is Jake T. Austin. Following his addition to Wizards of Waverly Place as Max Russo, Alex's younger brother, Jake moved on to a couple more Disney-produced works, including ABC Family's The Fosters. However, during the 2014 Teen Choice Awards, the actor made his way backstage to the Candy's gifting suite. Upon approaching, he was denied entry because the door worker could not recognize him. This sparked the typical celebrity tantrum of screaming, swearing, and throwing objects in the air saying, "Don't you know who I am?" followed by, "I'm a presenter, who the F are you?" Obviously, Disney wasn't having it, and Jake was soon booted from The Fosters, since he has scored a few jobs outside of Disney, including the 2017 Emoji Movie. Taking our 6th spot is Ryan Gosling. During Real Girls' promotion in 2008, Ryan opened up in a Telegraph interview that he was once fired by Disney. This occurred back when the actor was 12 and was playing a Musketeer alongside Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake. He made claims that the studio dismissed him because he wasn't Disney material, constantly educating the other tween Musketeer about grown-up topics. Ryan's career was obviously never fazed by this though. Most recently, he wowed viewers on Saturday when reports were detailing his time on a Sydney set for his upcoming film The Fall Guy, landing the lead role in the blockbuster based on a well-known 1980s TV show. The star was captured behind the wheel of a brown coupe in the middle of shooting an action-filled scene, and Ryan looked like the cool guy that he is. He seemed thrilled to be there, unable to wipe the smile off his features when the camera started rolling as he launched into character to film an anticipating car chase scene. Taking our 5th spot is Adrienne Bailon. Adrienne has no doubt created a name for herself as Robert Kardashian's ex and her career as a television host, but this all started when she was a Cheetah Girl, a Disney Channel music group who obtained a series of TV movies and specials about them. The group was promoted to be kid-friendly and cookie-cutter, but Adrienne eventually flushed that image down the toilet when her nude photos were leaked in 2008. Apparently, her or her boyfriend's software was hacked and she was exposed. Because this took place while the group was touring, Adrienne was given the chance to complete their shows, but her studio contract was officially terminated after. Adrienne was already a full adult at 25, so many speculated this was pulled as a publicity stunt to free the star from her kiddie contract. Nowadays, Adrienne helped her surrogate with the home birth of her newborn Ever. The host was super hands-on with the process, telling Entertainment Tonight that she got a chance to pull him out. According to reports, Adrienne's biggest dream is to carry a baby to full term since she struggled in the past to conceive kids of her own. On Wednesday, the star also noted that she may have the opportunity to do this as she has 5 embryos remaining. Taking our 4th spot is Chloe Grace Moretz. Of course, everyone knows Miley voiced the unforgettable character Penny in Disney's Bold, but did anyone know that Chloe was actually meant to play Penny? The actress even got as far as recording more than half a portion of the film, and nothing actually happened to make her her step down, aside from the fact that the studio wanted a bigger star at the time. It probably helped that Miley was already within the Disney family as a huge star herself, and in the end, Chloe ended up being kept on board to voice the younger version of Penny. Since this, Chloe has moved on to have a lasting career, starring in movies like Kick-Ass and Neighbors 2. Nowadays, Chloe doesn't want to be referred to as just a child star though. Instead, she revealed how carefully she selects her upcoming roles in a recent NME interview, noting that this is especially due to her past suffering from body dysmorphia and being a recluse. Chloe also stated that because of this, she is in her F-it era. Taking our third spot is Jake Paul. Loads of people know of Jake from his formerly loud and obnoxious YouTube behavior in 2017, a thing which seems to have caught up with him greatly since. The pro boxer kept climbing up the fame ladder and saw legitimate fame when he starred in Bizaardvark, but he was dismissed shortly after. His involvement in several activities that Disney could not stand by, including apparently terrorizing his neighbors with unruly behavior and not removing his fans who showed up on his and surrounding property after his address was leaked, resulted in him being let go. More recently, Jake has admitted that his past behavior was uncalled for. Still, he alluded that the firing was a mutual decision, but not many believed him, of course. Last week, Jake's brother Logan made his WWE debut as a professional boxer and pulled a lot of interest from the wrestling brand for potential future work with Logan and Jake after the elders' crown jewel success. Before this though, Jake had called out Saul Alvarez and Nate Diaz as future opponents in the ring. The large event took place in Saudi Arabia on November 5th, with Logan being the main event and Jake being in attendance. Taking our second spot is Terrence Howard. Terrence portrayed War Machine's Rhodes, who was a good friend of Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark in the first Iron Man movie. From the second movie of the franchise onward, Terrence was replaced by Don Cheadle. During a Watch What Happens live episode with Andy Cohen, Terrence disclosed that he was fired from Disney over a pay dispute after a fan phoned in questioning why he wasn't a part of Iron Man 2. In response, Terrence answered, "This is gonna get me in a lot of trouble. It turns out that the person I helped become Iron Man, when it was time to re-up for the second one, took the money that was gonna go to me and pushed me out." Now, not only was he kicked out one of the world's biggest franchises, but former allegations of domestic violence from every one of his ex-wives from his multiple marriages have led Terrence to receive larger financial loss. Unfortunately, the actor has been perceived to have a other side, which reportedly makes him lose control of himself and get into fights. Taking our first spot is PewDiePie. PewDiePie is one of, if not the richest YouTube stars of all time. Essentially, his large profits from YouTube were the reason why he signed on board with Disney for whatever they had planned for him. But this all came to a startling crash when PewDiePie made the decision to spew prejudiced remarks against Jewish people in one of his videos from early last year. And PewDiePie sets it up to seem like he was randomly viewing the offensive sign and later decides to film it, but it was eventually revealed to be the exact opposite. YouTube removed him from their premium accounts because of this. To make things worse, his apology for the incident didn't serve as genuine. Rather, he seemed to blame everyone else but himself for the issue, apparently claiming he was just trying to show how crazy the modern world is. Naturally, Disney's Maker Studios issued the following statement to announce their parting ways. Although Felix has created a following by being provocative and irreverent, he clearly went too far in this case and the resulting videos are inappropriate. Maker Studios has made the decision to end our affiliation with him going forward. Nowadays, PewDiePie's account doesn't seem all that phased despite his past. He most recently reacted to the new Warden Minecraft update on his channel. The update comes from Mojang, who recently included a horror feature to their iconic game title. Screenshots of the developer's newest works showcase the upgraded features, and of course, various popular Twitch streamers and YouTubers hopped on the chance to react to it as they awaited the release of the scary Warden. PewDiePie's recent video explored the dark caves and how to summon the Warden. That's been today's WATN. Thanks for watching, friends. Taking our 10th spot is Pixar co-founder and Academy Award winner John Lasseter. Prior to his work with Pixar, John was a much younger dude just trying to start off his career within the animation world. According to multiple sources, the reasoning behind his firing isn't really specific aside from his day-to-day's ups and downs in the workplace. Similar to the stories John creates, his personal life took quite a twisty turn as Pixar began releasing more relatable and commercially better films than Disney. Because of this, John eventually gave Disney permission to buy out Pixar, and he remained in his creative role from there. Despite this seeming like a happy medium for both parties, John was soon swept up in an addition of celebrities who got caught up in the timeless cycle of assault that takes place in Hollywood. Recently, he stepped down from his position within Disney, though not noted if he was forced out due to missteps in his behavior. Don't forget to subscribe to Where Are They Now to stay in the loop on all the tea on all your fave celebs. Taking our 9th spot is Steve Whitmire. If one doesn't recognize this legendary star by his name, surely his voice will bring back all your nostalgia. For 27 years, Steve was the voice of Kermit the Frog until he was suddenly fired in 2017. If you didn't already know, since 2004, when Disney first made the switch, Muppets have been both a brand and franchise under the network studio. For his part in the reason behind its dismissal, Steve was reportedly let go because of how he was said to have conducted himself within the workplace. In accordance with Disney, Steve was disrespectful in the ways he spoke on issues of the character and was also accused by them of unacceptable business practices. However, Steve has stated before that the studio no longer wished for him to be Kermit due to the types of scripts they were crafting. For example, apparently apparently there was an instance of a note regarding a script for ABC's then new series, which has since been cancelled as of last year, in which Kermit lied to his nephew Robin in regards to his breakup with Piggy. In response to this, Steve explained, "I don't think Kermit would lie to him." Taking our 8th spot is Megan Mullally. Yes, it's true that Megan wasn't ever signed to Disney on a long-term contract, however this doesn't change the fact that she was meant to play an unknown character in their Finding Nemo film franchise. Fans of the star know that Megan is most known for her shrill voice, the very same one she popularized through Will and Grace. Apparently Disney wanted to capitalize on that very thing and only desired to work with Megan if she portrayed that voice in their film. Of course, Megan declined as many assumed she wasn't interested in making that her entire brand. Megan even started the process of recording for the unnamed part, but every time she would slide in the booth, she was encouraged to push her voice higher. By the time she had enough and straight up refused for the last time, she was fired. All in all, Megan noted that this particular voice was used for, quote, boozy, sharp-tongued Karen Walker on Will and Grace. So it leads us to ask, why would Disney even want to be associated with that in mind? Taking our 7th spot is James Gunn. James is the director behind the movie magic for Suicide Squad and Peacemaker, but he was fired by Disney in 2018 when his former and highly offensive Twitter post resurfaced. After a ton of celebrities backed James by expressing their support for him, and fans rallied to make a successful petition of over 400,000 signatures, James was soon reinstated as the director/writer for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Back in 2014, James received his big break for the first widely successful and loved GOG, and its second volume, which made its debut in 2017, earned a rough $865 million at the box office. Then came the next year, in which Roseanne Barr broke the internet in May for her controversial media usage, where not even a month later, James's unforgettably regretful tweets between 2008 and 2012 were suddenly brought to attention. Between the two situations, Disney received massive backlash regarding the hypocrisy of Roseanne fired, but James regaining his position, even though at the time Roseanne's issues were detailed to be current and not older tweets that were dug up and apologized for numerous times. To most likely cover for themselves, Disney let go of James, but this seemed to work to his advantage, as this was around the time the director signed a lucrative Warner Bros. Deal to direct Suicide Squad. At that time, James also created HBO Max's Peacemaker, eventually leading to his tweets blowing over and Disney rehiring him. The cast has since championed this decision after his original termination, and most recently, James put together a Guardians holiday special for Disney Plus, while also filming new footage at Epcot for Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Taking our 6th spot is Roseanne Barr. As touched upon briefly earlier, this 90s sitcom star was axed from Disney Plus and its network as a whole when her racist tweets about former Barack Obama advisor Valerie Jarrett came to light. During an Oprah Winfrey interview, Disney CEO Bob Iger revealed it seemed completely insensitive, completely disrespectful. It was very clear the decision was easy to make. Despite the ratings on the initial 2 episodes surpassing 18 million views in early 2000s numbers, the charm of it all wore quickly. By the time the end of the season wrapped, Roseanne saw a drop of 10 million, which was still notably good, but did in fact hint that her shining moment would soon dim. So naturally, when Roseanne's inarguably prejudiced comments were shared online, the executives at Disney were quick to remove her from the show. ABC later unveiled The Conners the next season, which was literally Roseanne's show without their main star. TC served as a worthy substitute for the first season and still airs to this day, despite its ratings falling by more than half its original worth over the last 4 years. Still, Disney has been led to believe that this is solely due to the modernized nature of TV consumption. Taking our 5th spot is Boy Meets World star Teo Holm. Teo was a part of the Girl Meets World spin-off, playing Topanga and Corey's son Elliot. In total, the couple was meant to have 3 children, with the main focus revolving around their tween daughter Riley. However, unlike the others on today's list, Teo was let go because of changes in the show, and even though he was rightfully saddened by the news, he harbors no bad feelings towards Disney, and vice versa. Regarding its removal, a rep of Disney stated, "Various creative changes are often made as projects transition from pilots to series. For BMW, the Big Brother role simply did not work for the dynamic of the show. Regardless, the best part about being signed to the family network is that even though one thing may fall through, they'll always have something ready to go for those willing to comply. Therefore, maybe one day fans will get to see Teo connected to Disney once more." Taking our 4th spot is Julie McCullough. On the show Growing Pains, Julie portrayed Kirk Cameron's girlfriend, but it was said that the relationship took an awkward turn following her modeling for Playboy. Julie was described as a Playboy centerfold, and while on the show, she was supposed to marry Kirk's Mike Seaver, but like his sibling Candace Cameron, Kirk is a strong believer in his fate. He was not here for any of it and demanded the script be changed by insisting that Mike cannot marry Julie's same-name character. Overall, the wedding fell through and Julie lost her position on the hit show. When Kirk penned his biography years later, he recalled that Julie's role was never meant to be a long-term one. Still, Julie's career never really recovered, a moment in which she openly blames Kirk for, as she stated that he's never apologized, since Julie's ventured into stand-up comedy. Taking our 3rd spot is Lelaine. If you're like me and were ever a fan of Lizzie McGuire, you may have noticed that the last few episodes of the series were missing Lizzie and Gordon's bestie Miranda with zero explanation. Following this, the Lizzie McGuire movie dropped, and fans thought this was the perfect time to reunite the crew, only this time time, they mentioned Miranda was on a family vacation in Mexico, leading viewers to wonder where the actress disappeared to. Well, in case you never found out, some behind-the-scenes mess went down, which caused Elaine to lose her job in Lizzie McGuire's franchise. In 2008, the actress was detained for substance possession, and despite her being able to keep it on the DL for the most part, it soon spiraled when she continuously missed court dates. Eventually, there was a warrant out for her arrest, and she was pretty much forced to plead guilty due to all the time she messed up with the courts. Taking our second spot is Tommy Kirk. Tommy served as one of Disney's first musketeers, with a starring part in the original Old Yeller. His highly successful career included parts in The Shaggy Doggy and The Swiss Family as well. But as he aged, he began blossoming into his own, and Disney was not here for it. Kirk came out as gay during a time that wasn't very inclusive, and as a result, Disney branded him as box office poison. Not only was he dismissed, but he was blacklisted as well. His fresh start included removing himself from his substance habit and ditching the showbiz. Now Kirk is retired from a widely successful business in carpet and upholstery, and even made his Disney return through the reunion now that they're a lot more embraceful. Taking our first spot is Harlan Ellison. The famed sci-fi writer known for The Man from UNCLE and Star Trek was fired by Disney during his first day for reportedly making a joke that the company should create an animated adult film. The suggestion was during his starting workday under Disney Studios, only a few hours after his arrival. The incident was set to take place when he joined his fellow writers for lunch in the studio restaurant. It was here where he made the comment, proceeding to act out the parts while mimicking the studio's most beloved animated characters. Unbeknownst to Harlan, Roy Disney and the additional studio heads were seated nearby his table. According to Harlan, he returned to his office to find his name on his parking space whited out and a pink slip on his desk, later recounting the ordeal in his Stalking the Nightmare book as a third part of the section titled The 3 Most Important Things in Life. Taking our 10th spot is actor David Henrie from That's So Raven and Wizards of Waverly Place. This star got his Disney start on Raven playing Corey's friend Larry, but he set his quick fame in Stone at 18 by portraying Alex's older brother Justin Russo in Wizards of Waverly Place. A little over a decade after gaining his main character in Wizards, David was detained in September 2018 for carrying a loaded firearm into LAX. While addressing the issue on Twitter, David wrote, "I take responsibility for the situation today. I unintentionally brought my legally owned weapon, which is registered in my name, to the airport. I'm so sorry for any trouble it caused, but I'm appreciative of TSA's efforts in implementing the safety laws that are in place to protect our beautiful country. More than anything, I am humiliated and embarrassed that this even happened, but thankful to the TSA, LAPD, and all involved today for their kindness and professionalism during this process." People were the first to report David being charged with, quote, carrying a loaded firearm, carrying a concealed weapon, and possessing a weapon in a sterile area of the airport. In November 2018, TMZ published an article reporting David getting off with 0 jail time for his accidental crime. Rather, he was required to pay fees and fines and take a firearm safety course, while also receiving 2 years probation alongside 20 days of community service. Taking our 9th spot is Adam Hicks, the actor from Zeke and Luther and Lemonade Mouth. Adam's face was a huge staple in Disney Channel's brand between 2009 to 2013. In addition to bagging a lead role on Zeke and Luther and starring in a main part for the DCOM film Lemonade Mouth, Adam was also on their series Pair of Kings and Jonas. Yet in 2018, Variety reported that the actor was incarcerated on suspicion of armed robberies. TMZ, the first news outlet to report the information, alleged that Adam and his partner Danny Timburo would jab firearms in victims' faces and demand valuable items and money. For the case, Adam's attorney indicated the musician had a mental health issue, which resultantly postponed the arraignment so Adam could receive the opportunity for a doctor evaluation. In July 2019, E! News stated Adam, quote, pled not guilty to 3 felony counts of attempted second-degree robbery and 2 felony counts of second-degree robbery. At the time, his bail was set to over $500,000 and he remained in custody. In March 2020, Adam was released on parole, with the judge crediting the near 1,500 days he previously served while he awaited his sentencing. Adam most recently dropped a new song a month ago titled Chosen One. Taking our 8th spot is the Proud Family and That's So Raven actor Orlando Brown. A few Disney stars like Orlando have been arrested multiple times on several counts. Orlando's crimes range from years of felony substance possession, DUIs, and domestic battery charges. In 2018, the actor was captured and arrested by bounty hunters due to a outstanding warrant. As per TMZ, a judge issued a warrant for him last month after he failed to appear in court for allegedly striking his girlfriend. More so, in 2018, Orlando faced another arrest in Las Vegas for burglary, as originally confirmed by Page 6. The former Raven actor stayed in the penitentiary on $13,000 bail, which was stacked on top of bail from his previous arrest charges mentioned prior. Orlando's Vegas detain came only 1 week following his being caught and arrested for attempting to change the locks inside the Legends restaurant and venue, as per TMZ. The eatery was owned by the actor's longtime friend Danny, who alerted the authorities that Orlando's presence triggered a security alarm and alerted his phone. Orlando's excuse to the police was that he was simply there to change the locks, a claim which Danny denied, and therefore led to Orlando leaving in cuffs. Sin City and Orlando share a complicated legal history, as a month prior, the former Disney star was issued a warrant of his arrest following his skipping a county hearing for his possession charges that same summer. Taking our 7th spot is Debby Ryan. Debby has acted under a slew of Disney works, landing her royalty status within the studio's networks brand, including her main show Jessie as the titular character, her start as Bailey Pickett on the Sweet Life on Deck series, and her lead role in Disney's original films Radio Rebel and 16 Wishes. On top of these three, her characters Jessie and Bailey saw numerous crossovers in a bunch of other Disney shows as well. And much like a lot of the other young and desirable Disney it girls, Debby wanted to pursue music on the side of her acting career to see if she could add to the greatness of those who came before her. However, in 2016, the former Disney actress was charged with a DUI and locked up after she crashed her vehicle. Months down the road, an announcement came that she would serve no jail time but 3 years probation. However, Debby's success has not faltered very much despite this. She's seen more fame and praise through recent hits like Netflix's short-lived Insatiable and their original Night Teeth. Taking our 6th spot is Andy Mack's Stoney Westmoreland. Fans of the children's show were quick to notice that Andy's dad/grandfather Henrie Mack had not made an appearance in the show for quite some time. This was due to his December 2018 arrest, where he was later dismissed from the series shortly after. According to KSL, Stoney was placed behind bars for allegedly arranging to engage in physically inappropriate and immoral behavior online with someone he believed was 13 years old. Deadline was the first to report Stoney being charged with 6 felonies for his crime. Even worse, the arrest took place in Salt Lake City, Utah, according to reports, the exact location where Andy Mack filmed. Not to mention the majority of Stoney's co-stars were minors. Additionally, prior to his role on Andy Mack and several years before its premiere, Stoney had a recurring part on Scandal. Taking our 5th spot is Kyle Massey from That's So Raven and Cory in the House. Much like the celebrity before him, Kyle faced jail time in regard to accusations of sending unethical explicit material to a minor. Being 29 at the time, Kyle was charged with felony immoral communication with a minor in King County on June 14th. Court-obtained documents by TMZ reported that the lawsuit was first presented after an undisclosed 13-year-old girl alongside her mother first brought the legal issue to Kyle in 2019. The March case sought $1.5 million and alleged that Kyle held himself out as a father figure for the young girl in 2018, while requesting to be her friend on Snapchat to eventually send her multiple explicit text messages, images, and videos. Issued notice of arraignment for Kyle took place on June 15th, which was followed up by an order due to his failure to show up to court, as per King County Circuit Court documents. The former Disney star landed himself an arrest warrant for skipping out on the Washington court appearance in regards to his case about his immoral communication with a minor. At the time, Disney's representatives did not immediately respond to the Washington Examiner's request for comment. Taking our 4th spot is Phil Lewis, the actor from The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody and the Sweet Life on Deck franchises. Long before Phil became the beloved Mr. Mosby in both series, the veteran actor landed a year in jail for reportedly driving while drunk and ending the life of then 21-year-old Isabella Darte. At the time of his sentencing, Phil was 24 under a manslaughter conviction. Alongside jail time, Phil was also ordered to serve 350 hours of community service and 2 years of probation by Montgomery County Circuit Judge William C. Miller. Phil's intoxication levels were measured 3 times over the legal limit. Judge William Miller noted that the late victim, who previously worked as a Portugal nanny, was not just a statistic. Miller further pushed, quote, "Due to the serious nature of the offense, I feel some incarceration is appropriate." Phil was given another year behind bars from Miller on the original charge to concurrently serve. As for officials, this meant a total serving of 90 days in county jail, 270 days of confinement, 90 more days in the county's halfway house program, and a final 90 days under home detention. Phil stated in court that he understood the terms of his conviction, and his lawyer expressed their plan to not appeal the sentence. Isabel's uncle, Augusto Rodriguez, stated, "There are no winners in this type of situation, but jail time is appropriate because you have to give a message to people out there who are still drinking and driving. It's not out of hate." Taking our 3rd spot is That's So Ravens and Raven Home's Annalise Vanderpool. Similar to Phil in 2006, this actress was detained for driving under the influence and later pleaded no contest to DUI a year after. TMZ reports highlighted her blood alcohol level doubled over the legal limit of 0.08 at a startling high of 0.19. Annalise was arrested in July 2006 following the incident of her colliding with a parked car. The crash created a domino effect according to official TMZ obtained reports, which detailed Annalise losing control of her car and causing the parked vehicle to hit an additional 2 cars. Annalise then traveled across the roadway behind her wheel and hit another vehicle after that. As stated prior, the Disney star pled no contest to her 2 misdemeanors. The LA City Attorney's Office prosecuted the case, and Annalise's sentencing was scheduled for March 19th at the time. According to TMZ obtained documents, Annalise was offered 36-month probation and a fine and assessments penalty of $2,844 by the court. She was additionally sentenced to attendance at an alcohol education program. Taking our 2nd spot is Kelli Berglund. In 2016, the young actress was cuffed at Coachella after she was caught carrying a false identification card. As per New York Daily News, the then 20-year-old actress reportedly attempted to meet up with some friends in a restricted area of the Palm Spring party. However, her plans fell through deeply when the event security noticed her fake ID. Kelli was handed a citation before she was sent back to return to the Californian Music and Arts Festival. Taking our first spot is So Random and Liv and Maddie's Audrey Whitby. In light of the 2016 presidential election, Audrey was one of the few stars during the peaceful protest who eventually wound up getting arrested. Despite the protest arguably not hurting anybody, Audrey took to Instagram to explain how the officers present, quote, pointed batons, tear gas, and non-lethal firearms directly at us. Audrey then added, the irony of what was happening hit me as I shoved my peace sign high in the air. According to the actress, her hands were bound with plastic zip ties, and an officer harassed her with demands wanting to know if she even voted. Audrey later clarified, I was ushered onto the bus and separated from my group. Eventually, the star and her friends were all released after also being slapped with a citation.
Demi Lovato was born in New Mexico and had a strained relationship with their father throughout most of their life. When their parents got divorced, Demi stated that they almost completely lost contact with their father. At 10 years old, they began their acting career on the television show Barney and Friends. From there, Demi transitioned into a Disney child star when, in 2007, they landed a role on a short series and then eventually got the lead role in the hit movie Camp Rock and the television show called Sunny with a Chance. Camp Rock was a massive success and made Demi a household name amongst younger audiences. They were very popular as a Disney kid, working alongside stars like Miley Cyrus, Selena Gomez, and the Jonas Brothers. In November 2010, however, when Demi was 18, they stepped back from acting and later said they would only return when they felt confident doing so. They then shifted their focus more towards the music industry, releasing quite a few pop hits. But being in the limelight does have its drawbacks, and Demi experienced that full force. In 2009, when Demi was only 17 years old, they tried harder substances for the first time, coupled with alcohol. It was an instant hook for the star, who had a family history of addictions. It was only discovered years later that the reason why Demi left acting in 2010 was actually because they had to enter a treatment facility for the first time to address eating and self-harm issues. In rehab, Lovato was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, which is an illness that gives you intense mood swings with really intense highs and really intense lows. Once Lovato left rehabilitation, it would only be a few weeks before they relapsed. The relapse would be so severe that for months, Demi would be in and out of a haze, and they would even have an scare that sent them to the hospital. Once again, Demi checked into a rehab in January 2013, where thankfully they stayed sober for about 5 years. In a heartfelt Instagram post, Demi describes the difficulty of remaining free of substances, crediting their very strong support network and religion. Then, in 2018, the actor posted about being 6 years sober. And that would all come crashing down though, when only a few months later, with the release of their new single titled Sober, they sing about a relapse and seem to imply that they had begun using again. When only a few weeks later, Demi is rushed to the hospital for an apparent overdose. The star had a genuine brush with death that genuinely rattled them. The drugs they were using are known for destroying lives, and it seems that through this hospital experience, Demi is trying once again to maintain their path to recovery. Since the hospitalization, they posted on Instagram, quote, "Today I would have been 7 years sober. I don't regret going out because I needed to make those mistakes, but I must never forget that's exactly what they were, mistakes." As of right now, Demi remains sober and continues their journey towards full recovery. They even went back to singing, returning to the stage in January 2021, and only a month later performing the national anthem at the Super Bowl. So where are they now? Well, Demi had a lot to say in 2021. After Glee actor Naya Rivera's passing, Lovato labeled themselves as queer in a statement mourning the death of Rivera. They later explained that they are pansexual and looking for love across any gender despite only having historically dated men. Then in May 2021, Demi Lovato officially came out as non-binary and changed their pronouns to they them. In the Instagram post, Demi states, quote, "This has come after a lot of healing and self-reflective work. I'm still learning and coming into myself. I don't claim to be an expert or a spokesperson. Sharing this with you now opens another level of vulnerability for me." They then clarify that in the future their gender expression could change as they continue to grow and evolve, stating, quote, "There might be a time where I identify as trans, and there might be a time where I identify as non-binary and gender non-conforming my whole life. Or maybe there's a period of time when I get older that I identify as a woman. It's about keeping it open and free." Celeb and fan reactions to Demi's bravery at coming out have been super endearing. When singer Lizzo was asked by paparazzi if she would be working with Demi on any new songs, Lizzo politely corrected the reporter when they misgendered the Camp Rock star. Other celebrities like former co-star Selena Gomez have congratulated Demi on their transition. It was all very sweet and emotional, and then things got a little weird. In June of 2021, Demi Lovato got into a feud with none other than a yogurt shop. They made headlines after they came for the yogurt store because it promoted sugar-free froyo and offered diet foods for customers to buy. Demi Lovato called out the company on her Instagram to a following of 102 million people and labeled them as, quote, diet culture vultures. Obviously, the internet was kind of upset about Demi's reaction. Having healthy options isn't exactly promoting diet culture. In fact, it's promoting healthy eating and is much less damaging than basically any McDonald's ad that normalizes putting harmful foods into one's body. Demi's history with food issues is credited as the reason behind their outlash against the company, stating that it triggered them to see sugar-free options. While it's entirely okay to feel upset by the modern Western world's relationship with food and diet culture, it is very unfair for Demi to blast a small company on their Instagram when the company is only trying to appeal to a larger group of people. I mean, it doesn't even have to be for diet reasons. It could very well be options for people with celiac disease who have to be careful about the sugars they consume. People were upset that Demi would go straight to aggression, and it seems like unnecessary negativity when there are tons of other examples of harmful diet culture. The entire modeling industry is incredibly harmful to young people who grow up believing that their bodies are wrong just because they aren't stick thin, or even promoting unhealthy and harmful foods as cool or something to want. Eventually, Demi posted an 8-minute apology video onto Instagram, stating that, quote, people with eating disorders should be able to go in and feel safe wherever they want to eat. Everything I'm doing is well-intentioned, you have to understand.
I'm protective of the little girl inside of me that didn't get that representation at a young age of someone saying, all of this diet stuff is not okay, you're worth more than that.
Lovato let their emotions get ahead of them, and while their intentions of exposing harmful diet culture may have been well-intentioned, it's a little self-centered to think that just because a yogurt store has sugar-free options, that it means they're promoting diet culture. Not everything's about you. Despite that weird altercation with a small business, Demi has maintained a relatively low-key lifestyle for a celebrity. Recently, near the end of December 2021, they did reveal a radical new haircut on social media. With the hashtag #FreshStart, Demi rocks a shaved head, and what I truly hope is the best year yet for the actor/singer. Despite the weird yogurt spectacle, I think their road to recovery is a brave and difficult one that requires a lot of courage and self-love. Every choice Demi makes that leads them closer to their more authentic self should be encouraged and met with compassion always.
I need a mental health day. Peace. Love you. Mean it.
Taking our 10th spot is Zendaya Coleman. Zendaya is an actress, producer, and singer. She started her career through child modeling and backup dancing prior to rising to fame through her prominent TV debut role on Disney's Shake It Up as Rocky Blue. From here, Zendaya acted in works like Casey Undercover, Spider-Man Homecoming, No Way Home, and Far From Home, The Greatest Showman, Malcolm and Marie, and Done. Her most iconic portrayal today is from HBO's teen drama series Euphoria, which crafted Zendaya as the youngest recipient of 2 Primetime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Lead Actress in a drama series. In addition to her acting days, Zendaya was also making music. She signed with Hollywood Records back in 2012 and dropped singles Watch Me and Swag It Out through her work on Disney. This was a collaboration with her SIU co-star Bella Thorne. Zendaya's debut studio album was released in 2013 and its leading single Replay charted top 40 on Billboard's Top 100. Zendaya reached her biggest commercial success as a musical artist in 2018 from her collaboration with Zac Efron from their The Greatest Showman soundtrack Rewrite the Stars. If you were a Disney Channel enjoyer in the past, don't forget to smash the like button on today's Where Are They Now? Taking our 9th spot is Miley Cyrus. This singer-songwriter and actress became a teen idol because of her starring role as Miley Stewart for her Hannah Montana franchise in 2006. As Hannah, Miley broke endless records, including 5 of her soundtracks peaking at #1 and 3 multiple times on Billboard's Hot 100 and Billboard 200's charts. Miley's discography features US #1 albums like Bangers, Breakout, and Meet Miley Cyrus. As a musician, Miley has topped the most prominent charts for all musical releases, including top hits 7 Things, See You Again, The Climb, We Can't Stop, Can't Be Tamed, Wrecking Ball, and RIAA Diamond Certified Party in the USA. Miley's career accolades landed her on the Times 100 list twice, awarded her with MTV's Best Artist of 2013, and had her appear on Billboard's 2019 Greatest of All Time charts. In acting, Miley appeared in the animated children's film Bolt and obtained 2 of her own feature films, Hannah Montana the Movie and The Last Song. As for TV, Miley became a life coach for the singing competition series The Voice for 2 consecutive seasons. seasons. She also starred in a Black Mirror Netflix episode titled Rachel, Jack, and Ashley 2. Miley's personal work saw her launch a non-profit foundation called Happy Hippie in late 2014 to target youth homelessness and help the LGBTQ+ community. Taking our 8th spot is Selena Gomez. Selena is known best for her Wizards of Waverly Place role as Alex Russo. However, she's also been a part of several other TV shows and movies as well. Selena starred in Another Cinderella Story, Princess Protection Program, Ramona and Beezus, Monte Carlo, Spring Breakers, Getaway, The Dead Don't Die, A Rainy Day in New York, and voice acted for the Hotel Transylvania movie franchise. Selena executively produced Netflix's 13 Reasons Why and Living Undocumented series, HBO Max's Selena Plus Chef, and Hulu's Only Murders in the Building through her July Moonhead production company. The actress received the Best Actress in a Comedy Series nomination for the Critics' Choice. Selena released 3 albums as a main band member of the scene, with all 3 peaking top 10 on Billboard's US 200 with a gold certification by the RIAA. On her own, Selena dropped Rare, Revival, and Stars Dance, with all albums debuting on Billboard's 200. Her 2021 Spanish EP graced Selena with a Best Latin Pop Album Grammy nomination. Selena sold over 22 million singles and 7 million albums on Billboard Hot 100. Outside of her Billboard's Women of the Year accolade in 2017, Selena has been named Time Magazine's 100 most influential people in the world. She's ventured into brand deals including clothing, fragrance, handbags, and makeup lines, and has worked alongside numerous charitable organizations and has been a UNICEF ambassador since she was 17. Taking our 7th spot is Demi Lovato. Demi got her start in Barney and Friends as a child and later received her breakthrough role in the Camp Rock movie franchise as Michi Torres. After she signed with Hollywood Records, Demi pushed out her debut pop rock album Don't Forget, which saw a top spot on Billboard US's 200s. Demi followed up this album with Here We Go Again, Unbroken, Demi, Confident, Tell Me You Love Me, Dancing with the Devil, and Holy F. Demi received a Grammy nomination for Confident, and her title track Sorry Not Sorry was granted as Demi's highest charting single in the US. For TV, Demi played the main character Sunny in Sunny with a Chance, became an X Factor USA judge for 2 consecutive years, and made appearances as a recurring character for Glee and Will and Grace. Her other roles include Disney's Princess Protection Program, Smurfs The Lost Village, and Eurovision Song Contest. Demi has seen over 24 million record sales and won endless accolades, including 1 MTV VMA, 14 Teen Choices, 5 People Choices, 2 Latin Music Awards, and a Guinness World Record. Demi was also part of Times' 100 annual list in 2017. Demi loves activism, and the public struggles she faced resulted in her publishing a self-help memoir titled Staying Strong, 365 Days a Year, and releasing 2 self-titled documentaries, Simply Complicated and Dancing with the Devil. Taking our 6th spot is China Anne McClain. China is a singer and actress who is also a part of a band with her siblings Lauren and Sierra. China is most recognized for her Ant Farm role and being a part of Tyler Perry's House of Pain series. China was also an addition to Daddy's Little Girls, Grown Ups 1 and 2, Dennis the Menace Christmas, Descendants 2 and 3, The Gospel, Black Lightning, and a revival in The Pains. China's first professional single was in 2010 with Nick Jonas for the Jonas LA soundtrack. China's exceptional music video for Ant Farm reached 5 million views in its first 3 days. In 2011, China cut a record deal as a solo artist and again won for her group. Her solo debut song was Dynamite, which saw a #2 peak on the US Kids Digital Songs. Her second song, Calling All the Monsters, took the top spot on the same chart and earned China 25,000 downloads in its debut week. In 2012, the Ant Farm soundtrack album remained on Billboard's Kids charts for 5 consecutive weeks. Her 2007 Descendants 2 single, What's My Name, saw several spots on numerous Billboard charts. It also hit gold certification with over 500,000 units sold. In June 2020, the McClain sisters changed their group name to 3. Taking our 5th spot is Hilary Duff. Hilary is an actress and singer who received her start fairly young. She was quickly publicized as a teen idol because of her Lizzie McGuire portrayal for several years. After this, Hilary made a few appearances in mainstream works such as Agent Cody Banks, Cadet Kelly, A Cinderella Story, and Cheaper by the Dozen. Her mature roles range from Star Wars to The Hunting of Sharon Tate. Between 2015 and 2021, Hilary starred in Younger and received 2 nominations for the People's Choice Awards. Currently, she's the production member and star of How I Met Your Father. For music, Hilary released albums Santa Claus Lane, Metamorphosis, Hilary Duff, Most Wanted, Dignity, and Hiatus Born Breathe In, Breathe Out. For Metamorphosis, Hilary saw huge success through her topping Billboard's 200s and earning triple platinum certification by the RIAA. Her commercial success was written by several other platinum and gold certified albums mentioned prior, all released through Hollywood Records. Hilary was dubbed as one of Disney's most inspirational stars and has sold approximately 15 million records worldwide in her time. Hilary tripled her fame by becoming a co-author of a New York Times bestseller trilogy of novels. Her entertainment success led Hillary to move into fashion line businesses like Stuff by Hilary Duff, Muse x Hilary Duff for Glasses USA, and Femme for DKNY. Taking our fourth spot is Ashley Tisdale. The childhood star made more than 100 TV ad appearances, as well as bagged roles in shows and theater. Ashley is most known for playing Maddie Fitzpatrick in Disney's The Suite Life of Zack and Cody and its spin-off The Suite Life on Deck. However, she has another famous role as Sharpay Evans in the High School Musical franchise. The positive responses to her work resulted in Ashley signing with Warner Bros. to release her debut solo album Headstrong. Said album amassed commercial success and reached certified gold. Following this, Ashley gifted her fans with other albums Guilty Pleasure, You're Always Here, and Symptoms. She also released singles Voices in My Head and Love Me and Let Me Go in 2018. Her production company Blondie Girl was formulated in 2008. Ashley signed a multi-year production deal with Relatively Media in 2010, which eventually allowed her to produce shows like Misadvised. Ashley's other film and small screen portrayals include Phineas and Ferb, Hellcats, Sharpay's Fabulous Adventures, Clipped, Young and Hungry, which she executively produced, Scary Movie 5, and Carol's Second Act. Currently, Ashley serves as a panelist for The Masked Dancer. Taking our third spot is Zac Efron. Zac is an actor who began working in the professional industry in the early 2000s through his time in the High School Musical trilogy as leading character Troy Bolton. It was during this time period when Zac also acted in a musical movie Hairspray and the comedy film 17 Again. Zac made his rise to mainstream fame when he took on more starring roles in the late 2000s. He also acted in The New Year's Eve, The Lucky One, The Paperboy, Neighbors, Dirty Garpa, Baywatch, and The Greatest Showman. Alongside these, Zac also portrayed Ted Bundy in the biographical crime drama Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and File. For his work in Netflix docu-series Down to Earth with Zac Efron, Zac was awarded with the Daytime Emmy Award. Taking our second spot is Bella Thorne. Bella obtains many titles, all of which include actress, writer, model, and singer. This Disney star is best known for her time on the channel as Cece Jones in Shake It Up. However, Bella has acted in a multitude of on-screen work since. This is including, but not limited to, Blended, The Frog Kingdom, The Duff, Big Sky, Ratchet and Clank, Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day, Perfect Tie, Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Babysitter Series, The Duff, Amityville, The Awakening, Infamous, and Girl. The world saw Bella reach another tier of recognition for playing Margot Darling in the 2000s Dirty Sexy Money series. This also pairs alongside the drama show My Own Worst Enemy, where Bella earned a Young Artist Award. Bella won an Imogen Award for her time as Cece on SIU. Bella played the lead part in the Famous in Love drama series, for which she received 2 Teen Choice nominations. For music, Bella released the 2012 EP Made in Japan, and then again dropped another EP called Jersey in 2014. As a director, Bella debuted in 2019 with her adult film Him and Her, which received mixed reviews but landed her a Visionary Award. Taking our first spot is actress and singer Dove Cameron. Dove's Liv and Maddie sitcom role of portraying both twin sisters was her breakout job as a young actress. She bagged a Daytime Emmy Award for the Outstanding Performer in Children's Programming category. Her other Disney work was through her Mal portrayal in the Descendants movie series. Dove has appeared in the comedic thriller Vengeance this year, but has also been featured in NBC's live TV musical Hairspray, earning Dove a Best Musical Moment nomination for MTV's 2017 Movie and TV Awards. From 2018 to 2019, Dove played on stages for Clueless off-Broadway rendition and debuted in London as Clara Johnson for The Light in the Piazza musical. For her singing career, Dove released the soundtrack album for Liv and Maddie. In 2015, her debut single If Only was issued for Descendants. Bloodshot Waste was Dove's official musical debut, which dropped in 2019. Most recently, Dove pushed out her highly successful single Boyfriend, which became her first solo work to chart Billboard's Hot 100 with a top 20 peak.